Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on the map Special Reef. Sorry, I had to think for a second then. And we have two people that we haven't seen for a while. One right here, Mr. Emre, very high OS of 54. And we forgot our little cameras, didn't we? Emre has been on the channel before, but it's been a little while. And Fiddler, who we've seen somewhat recently, over here in blue. Now, both players are playing Cortex today. And this map, if you haven't seen it before, is humongous. Very, very large. It was made for one of the special events that took place where you know, they wanted the like 40 versus 40 or something like that. So metal is ridiculously abundant, with all of these metal spots basically giving 2 metal each as well. So much metal to be had. Often we see games on this map go to tech free. So well, let's see what Emre and Fiddler provide us today. Now, just for reference as well, people were asking for the like stat numbers for the power and stuff in this bottom corner. Technically, they are here as little numbers, as you can see here. There's just not the bars. But on top of that, you've also got, and I can't show you, but where Emre's name is, as soon as I come off, that's their resource bars there as well. So not only do you have it in this bottom corner in text form, you have it in the little HUD icon as well, giving you the exact resource figures. So right now we can see Emre really struggling for energy, whereas Fiddler is doing perfectly fine. If anything, he's probably built a little bit too much energy right now. And now Emre is just shoving out as many windmills as he can to try and get that energy back under control, which he does look like he has finally managed to do. So difference in start positions and unit choices here. So Emre has gone bots and we see Fiddler here going vehicles. Now vehicles would make a lot more sense. There's so much metal on this map and it is such a large map that you want to be able to spread out as quick as possible. Emre choosing to go bots is an interesting choice. Now, I was gonna say I could see him going bots if they went res bots, but they haven't gone res bots. So I don't quite know why they would choose to go bots for, because there is a lot of crystal on this map. And as we select the commander here, you can see, you know, there's 6k of energy there, 10k almost, 6k, 4k, 3k. You know, there's a lot of energy to be had that you don't necessarily need to build energy. But that has not been the case. Emre does manage to do a decent job at holding off. And he is playing very, very defensively here. Going the grunts, just literally positioning grunts around his expansions to stop any early harass. Which this will be fine until Fiddler transitions over to incisors, and then a single grunt will not be sufficient to stop this. Interesting start choice though. This is the biggest thing here. I have never seen someone in a 1v1 start here. So a bit of an odd choice. And so what you would normally see is we normally see players start like here, right? Because they've got a relatively close geo. They've got defend there, defend there, defend there. And you've got a pretty strong kind of spacious area to defend, right? And a lot of metal extractors. Where Emre is gone, leaves him extremely exposed, but it does look like Emre is trying to just go like this. He's just going to build across, and with the idea of blocking Fiddler in this top corner. Now, if it does work out like that, then that will be leaving Emre for most of the map. But we'll see how that plays out. We can already see Fiddler with a decent chunk of incisors here. Another 5 incisors coming in. There's only a single LLT built. This second one will not get finished in time. And there are not enough grunts here. As we've said many times on the channel, generally it's a 2-to-1 when it comes to grunts to incisors. But in this instance, they've been able to get a lot of value out for just 5 incisors here, picking up 2 metal extractors, an LLT, and a con, and they're still going. Just driving straight through. One constructor is still alive. And now that he does have the bot lab still, so he could resbot and resbot all this if he wanted to. But instead, he's actually just transitioning over to vehicles himself. And we can see here the grunts really not having a good day here. As we can see, 2 incisors lost for 6 grunts. Like, that is a horrific trade for Emre right now. Does get a good favorable trade there, though, afterwards. If you can technically count those as separate engagements, that is. But Emre really needs to spread out quicker. Look at Fiddler. Look at how many metal extractors he's been able to build up. He's got 5 cons expanding. Emre only has, well, had 2 plus his commander. It's a very slow expansion for Emre, which is the opposite of what he really needs. We can see that Fiddler's eco right now is quite high. We're talking a 50% metal difference. Bear in mind he is making vehicles, so that kind of counters that a bit. This guy unable to get anything. So he is making vehicles, so that is kind of counter to that. But Emre now also making vehicles of his own, as we see just down here now, as more incisors are on the way in. Now, army value is quite a significant advantage to Emre, who has been building units pretty much this entire time. And the question is, will these units manage to make an impact on the base? Don't quite see what Emre pinged there, unfortunately. LLTs at pretty much every triple mechs is going to make it difficult for any units that do get past to make too much of an impact, though. There's even one already built here, which will grab that last guy. That's a lot of metal to be left right outside Fiddler. We're talking almost 1,000 metal here. Quick maths, that is about 1,000. Just right outside of Fiddler's base. Now, Emre is doubling down here and is going full hog into the expansion of Fiddler. And so far, it's doing fairly well. Gets 3 more metal extractors, opens up another avenue of attack. There is potentially a path across here now. Not that he knows it, but if he's able to pick up this expansion con, that would be a big deal. Another thing of note, remember that Fiddler currently is doubled down on 2 vehicle labs here, so he doesn't have access to resbots. He is just pumping out incisor after incisor here in an attempt to kind of field this off. I am somewhat surprised we're not seeing a couple of pounders chucked into here, but he doesn't want to risk the slow speed of them. Very good little attack here. And Emre doing a great job at actually getting some res bots down here behind his army, trying to eat up as much of this wreckage field as possible. Now, shurikens have started coming out. Now, shurikens don't necessarily deal very well versus incisors. So we'll see how they play here. Now, Emre could choose instead to res all this stuff, and that would cause a big problem for Fiddler if that was the case. Oh, but a slight mismanagement of the res bots there gets 2 out of 3 of them killed. That one is barely hanging on. What's funny is I think Emre has clearly advantage here when it comes to army. He is just worried about the shurikens here, which fighters are now starting to make their way over. And as we can see here, Emre has actually moved straight up with his commander, and the constructor's plan was to go sideways like that, completely blocking Fiddler off. And that's why he's also positioning his army down here, is to block that expansion. The commander is blocking the other direction of expansion, and Emre is intending to just keep Fiddler in this corner. And then it doesn't matter how slow he expands out, because he can just slowly expand out behind him and build up back there. And so far, the plan is working extremely well. Fiddler unable to break out of this containment and is just stuck in the corner. He's unable to spread out towards the commander's side very well either. And actually, we see Emre building a 4th factory. Yes, a 4th factory over here. 2nd vehicle lab on the north side here to start applying pressure to the top. And it's really interesting to see. Just look at the unit difference here. We've got 19 to... I can't tell because now they walked into each other. Well, I mean, 49. 19 to, well, 56. There you go. 62. So, Fiddler extremely undergunned here. Needs to be very, very careful. I think the only reason why Emre is not really going in here is he doesn't have any vision. He doesn't know what's coming. But with pounders now starting to arrive, this whole entire army is going to become redundant very, very quickly, as the pounders will make extremely short work of this mass grouped up raiders. When I say raiders, it's this icon that are on these units. If you're not sure what I'm on about, these units are classed as raider units. The little like play button, I guess you could call it. So containment now kind of breached. He's hoping to, instead of facing these pounders head on, Emre looks like he is aiming to move around the pounders due to their speed. It is a bit of a problem. Now the question is, what does Fiddler do with this? He knows where the army is. He's chasing it with everything he has. It is a big, dangerous blob here. 85 units can just go straight in and take out his base if he's not careful. But in fact, I think they're just moving up here to meet up with the pounders and then probably push along the top here. Shurikens unable to really provide too much value there with a couple of AA units in the back. They're just gonna pretty much shut most of them down, and I would say it was a costly run by for Emre, but not really. All the numbers are massively in the red right now. Look at that. Millisecond is now fully on Emre's side. And all of these LLTs that were positioned will not do much against this significant volume of units. 61 here, plus you've got more down this side. Another 23. And these are just going to push straight through the back. And Fiddler does not have units in position to stop this. This could just go right round in a big line around the whole of Fiddler's base. And Fiddler also having a little bit of a mistake here. He's actually got mass pounders that are stuck here due to kind of how things are laid out. And unfortunately, there's 4 of them there. He's had to move a con turret in order for them to get out, but he really could have done with those pounders. Oh, but at the same time, as we quickly switch over, the forces of incisors that went all the way around the south side have managed to make it into Emre's main base here, doing significant damage, taking out a lot of energy production, has taken out some build turrets. Pretty much, will he get all of them? He will. He does get every single build turret that was there. Does significant energy damage to Emre here, and that's quite a lot of damage. Doesn't really impact too much the metal income, but you can see just how much metal he's sat on right now. Is a lot of metal to be sat on, and he's just pumping it out into more and more Tech 1. And this is going to be tough for Fiddler. Really tough. He's got a lot of resbots now, just trying to get as many units back up and running. It's the good play, really. Interesting enough as well, we actually see air cons going here to spread out. He's moved past the containment area and is starting to spread out and build all of the economy down here, which, to be fair, is a good move because Emre has not built any of that. But as time goes on, just look at the sheer quantity of units. We've got 10 pounders here. You've got at the back 30 raiders. And that's just one of the 2 sections. There's just way too much here for Fiddler to manage. And he is trying his best, but he's just getting attacked at every direction and is unable really to contest any of this. Like, he's having to send pounders up to deal with these guys, but there's nothing really stopping this force just pushing into the back of Fiddler's base here. Emre being very, very cautious though. Not really wanting to commit fully to a base push here and giving all of his unit advantage away. Now, there was a bit of hesitation at the bottom here where he's kind of just sitting off. But he does manage to secure it. He's chasing down the resbots as well. But just look at the map. This is not good. It's all red. And now the slow pushing from the pounders. There are some shurikens here, but there's some lashes in the back, which will get rid of the shurikens. And unless Fiddler pulls off some like genius play of like bombing run or a commander snipe or something, I just don't see how Fiddler is going to be able to bring this back. When you just look at the unit production, look, he's built a metal storage and he's still producing too much metal. Metal access, 4.6k of Emre here. That's how much metal he is making. And Fiddler realizes that it's a lost cause and calls the GG.
Battle ended.
Well, I mean, what is there to say about that map? Emre played exactly to their plan and it worked tremendously. Fiddler was just not able to make as big an impact as he needed to. And that's kind of the problem with this map. It's so big, you start getting attacked on multiple flanks, and Emre just did what they needed. Secured the center, secured a path, blocked Fiddler's expansion, and yeah, well, good job. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all that YouTube malarkey, and I'll see you next time.